The chair recognizes the Honorable Sherry Gay-Dagnogo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to address my colleagues for what may be the last time in this chamber. I'm not going to give a farewell speech, as it is for a person leaving a place or position to which I must say the calling of becoming a statesman and stateswoman is not bound by neither place nor position. Instead, it's a mindset and a conviction to serve with relentless principle, commitment, and fervor for we the people. We are instead a continuum of members that have served the people of Michigan for a century on a progressing timeline commencing with this 100th legislature. Yes, time is relative, but it's not the end of our collective body. No matter the partisan lines we have drawn, the fights we have had, or the ideology we cling to, we are forever intricately connected and a part of a greater history that is ever unfolding. Our minds can't truly conceive that. Know that I look forward to working with many of you in my new capacity as a Detroit school board member, which is surreal because DPS was the impetus for my service here. Having to navigate the political waters of Lansing with nothing more than the primary goal of fighting for children in my community to have a quality education was challenging, yet a rewarding task. I have to thank the people that ultimately made that possible. Oh yes, Aaron, foremost God, my family, and my constituents who have become more like family. The countless volunteers and supporters that have cheered me on, that have supported me through each race I've had, I thank them. My sister, who's no longer with us, Jelena, I have to call her name. Thank you. My mother, Willie Ruth Gay, name in the middle name from the Bible. Thank you. My son, Jordan, my cousin, Wanda, and so many, my nieces, nephews, that stood by my side throughout this tenure. I have to also give special recognition to my ride or die, day one, UAW President Rory L. Gamble, and my entire UAW family for believing in me day one and always having my back. Lisa Canada, Tony Stewart, Michigan Regional Council of Carpenters, thank you for being true friends. And all of my labor affiliates who supported my leadership, even before they came a state rep themselves. Thank you, Ronnie Peterson. I must say, however, that the heart to serve doesn't stop here. I'm proud of a few other members that I began my tenure with that will also continue serving in a new capacity. Oakland County Treasurer-elect Robert Wittenberg, one of the most principled men that I've had the pleasure of having as my seatmate, during which I learned his eating habits are as big as his heart. We shared many milestones, but him being a husband and a dad tops them all. I couldn't be prouder to serve with him on auto insurance and on the bicameral Jewish African American Task Force with both he and my great friend, Senator Jeremy Moss. You can't truly love one without loving the other, although I only sing with one. Jeremy, although I miss seeing you singing on the House floor and having you by our side, know that your hard work in the Senate, helping to get good moral character passed, taking it to a touchdown, even after Brent Eiten's work over here in the House, we kept our promise, and I appreciate you. My let it rip buddy, Macomb prosecutor-elect Pete Lucido. I'm not sure how Pete and I hit it off, but I'm certain Fox 2 has never had that much legislative energy on one stage. Although we've had some heated debates with Charlie and Huel egging us on, we always left the studio with a mutual respect and even walking out singing one of Motown hits. That guy really is funny. Chang, thank you also for helping to get the most significant package in our history, along with Chair Lucido, out of Judiciary after the work that Graham and LeGrand did in the House. Now, Graham and LeGrand is up to both of you in the 101st to help pay for it. I'll be watching from afar as you continue to work with our Lieutenant Governor, Garland Gilchrist, in a bipartisan manner to move the appropriation that is necessary for expungement reform in time for implementation, April 2021. We have hundreds of thousands of Michiganders waiting for this important law to take effect, and I'm counting on all of you that remain. Last and not least, Saginaw Clerk-elect Vanessa Guerra. Thank you for allowing me to come to your district and keynote for the Saginaw Dems, even though Sam Bernstein was really the keynote. Inside joke. Never have to follow me. I know you'll make us proud as an attorney that will always uphold and protect the right to vote. When tasked with writing this speech, a few memorable moments came to mind. Yes, serving in a minority my entire tenure has been quite challenging, but I'm glad that I ultimately learned how to get things done and found a couple of friends on this side of the aisle. I won't forget, Chair Diana Farrington, my first PA. I think we made history together as the first women, Dem and Republican, team to serve as chair and vice chair of financial services. Singing carols with McBroom, Price, Banks in the Rotunda because we almost spent Christmas here during my first lame duck. Our politics didn't line up at all, but Christmas was something that brought us all together, if only for one night, which sadly enough now is added to the list of things we cannot do because of COVID-19. I thought of how cool it was to serve as my former boss, Alberta Tinsley Talabi's staff person, serving with her in the House. That was interesting and really cool because I looked up to her so much and she taught me so much. It was just a blessing to be able to serve with her in this House. Serving also with Rosemary Robinson and then Isaac Robinson, both champions for Detroit. Isaac was my ride or die, and I still sorely miss him. He will forever, forever be missed. Debating third grade reading and convincing our caucus as a newly elected to keep our hands clean from that bill, which resulted in many of them asking to be removed in the middle of the night. I hope Zemke has forgiven me. Having leader Sam Singh debate the merits of labor policies in the heat of the night with his reverberating voice echoing throughout these chambers, or floor reader Robbie trying to press the pause after I'd gotten gavelled down by Tedder over and over again during my speech on the A through F bill. Getting an adjustment by Mike Calton, cookies from Hoadley's desk. Tuesday night, butts and guts with Dare Shelley Stahl and Margaret O'Brien. And then nightcap at the U Club. We exercised for 20 minutes. We had nightcaps for an hour. These experiences individually may seem meaningless, but collectively they build a lattice of understanding, and they scaffold the relationships necessary towards change. Isn't that the goal of serving, learning, and realize that what you thought you knew when you came here perhaps was not, and building relationships to overcome stigmas, biases, and ultimately find common ground so that the people of Michigan win. Our constituents, no matter which part of the state they're in, do not win when we're constantly fighting and bickering and holding up democracy. They win when we set our separate ideology aside and find that place where we can all agree to advance the lifestyles and the quality of life for our citizens. No, we won't agree on everything, but as statesmen and stateswomen, that's our responsibility to move the quality of life forward for Michigan citizens. And so it's not simply about our individual victories, rather how we can compromise and champion collective victories for the people, all the people. Which brings me to acknowledging and lamenting that there is so much more that I wish I could have addressed. After 9 months of the impact, the desperate impact of COVID-19 has had on African Americans, it's a direct correlation to poverty. The psychological impact of police brutality, racial biases, something that I and caucus members of the Michigan Legislative Black Caucus and Detroit Caucus sought to eradicate by education or by moving a police accountability package. Saying defund the police, as I said before, doesn't mean that we're getting rid of police. That's why I could be great friends with my friend Mueller. My African American history package, something that I thought would give us greater sensitivity towards each other. Not a mandate, just a way to determine the best path forward and the best information available. We won't fully realize our greatness as a state until we acknowledge the struggle of urban and rural communities, Black men, Black women, and how we can change their trajectory through policy. We need not operate with a mindset of scarcity, as opening opportunity for all does not mean diminishing access for others. I'm prayerful that both of these packages, especially my African American history bill, which I've opened and offered and sponsored every term since I've come here, that it will find its way to passage. In the end, we'll ask, what is our legacy, our greatest accomplishment as legislators? Of course, we should all maintain our values, serving our 100,000 or more constituents as best we can, and showing up in meaningful ways for our constituents' work that couldn't have been done without the very support of this body and our staff. My first hire, Burton Brown, helped me to build the necessary relationships on Lansing's landscape, and I couldn't be prouder as his success as a lobbyist. He's one of a few of African American lobbyists, and I must say that Lansing needs more. Thankful for Natalie Bianami, Nate Winston, Morgan Quinney, Rebecca Fidel, Heath Lowry, and so many more, even our brilliant interns that helped us serve the great eight. I couldn't have done it without them. In addition to our individual staff, there are some pretty amazing people here. If only the public knew, it's the staff of Michigan's legislature is the glue that helps hold our state together with their institutional memory. I have to personally thank a few of them. Dan Feinberg, you are one brilliant man that I will cherish forever. You gave me a crash course on 1080C, and even when I wanted to reinvent it, you reminded me, Rep, that may not be a good idea. Coffee Ann, you are truly amazing, insightful, and you deserve so much more than we could ever pay you. I'm thankful for you and your guidance on every member of your policy team. The entire DEMCOM team, Liz, Asia, Audrey, Tracy Wimmer, Stephen Wooten, the first ones that were here supporting me, Doug Simon, and yes, I remember, Tim Bolin. Both of you guys, your professionalism is impeccable and by far best, by far best, the greatest of any that I've ever worked with. Our clerks, of course, the Redcoats, Chief Dixon, you and your entire team have always made me feel safe, even when there was mayhem going on outside. I have to also thank the Republican staff of this body, because I don't think there's any one time that they have not exuded anything but respect, kindness, and especially the incomparable Joelle. Alice, you are indeed a woman of faith, wisdom, and compassion. Thank you for always looking out for our green coats and working to bring more interns of color to the Capitol. Joy Brewer, your kindness, calling me and my mom during our bereavement and the subsequent calls, just to talk about farms and talk about God and to pray, know that you appreciate it. I have so many fond memories of the Macomb crew, John Churkin, Anthony Forlini, Marilyn Lane, and last but not least, Pam Hornberger. Come to think of it, with all of my friends in Macomb, I wish that my missing house perhaps should have came up missing in Macomb. And perhaps I might have gotten some relief by now. But let's keep praying. We're just now getting ready to go to court. Thank you, Pam Hornberger, for coming to my district, visiting our schools, and for having a Guinness Book of World Records cocktail hour in the heart of Detroit. I look forward to working with you. And congratulations on becoming Speaker Pro Tem. Strong Women Lead. Speaking of such, thank you, Leader Greg, for your friendship. I remember my first time walking in your district with you, and I thought, this campaign is a lot tougher than our campaign in Detroit, because the houses were a lot further apart. Give me a smaller turf. Congratulations, Donna Lisinski, on your new leadership role with the Democratic caucus. I know that you'll do great. Brad Pickett, thank you also for coming to the D for our conversations with trusted voices and discussions on integrating African American history. I owe you a trip to Niles. My Yoopers, Sarah Cambenzi, know that I went to Finlandia University. At one point, it was called Sumi. I love a woman that speaks her mind and knows what she wants. I have one regret, that I didn't get to come to the dog races, and I hope to visit you in Deanna soon. Maybe you too, Bo. My current seatmate, Rachel Hood, I feel like we got cheated. We only got a chance to spend a few months together, and then COVID wouldn't let us be great. But I have to say thank you, and I have to say thank you to Senator Winnie Brinks, because she gave you all the clues to make sure that I had those special Dutch mints when I needed them. Thank you. I miss you, Winnie. Last but not least, Detroit versus everybody. I know how challenging it is to fight for our city, but each of you have done an exemplary job. Rep. Brian Banks, thank you for your support in passing the torch of Detroit leadership and allowing me to become the first woman to serve as the Detroit caucus chair. We have a number of great women whose footsteps I walk in. It's surprising that I'm the first one to become the Detroit caucus chair. While it's been challenging, it has also been rewarding, and congratulations on your new book, It Had to Happen. Tyrone and Wendell Bird, thank you both for serving along with me as vice chairs. You both are great protectors, and I know you both have more pensions than all of us, so I know where to come for my next big run. I'll be asking for you to write me some checks. Rep. Tanisha Yancey and Rep. Fred Durhal both served as our caucus secretaries. I appreciate you both, but I don't appreciate having to rewrite the notes for both of you. Tanisha, you're taking the helm as our next chair, and I know you'll keep fighting for criminal justice reform. Commissioner David Kniezek and Rep. Joe Tate, thank you both for serving as our treasurers. Your dedication is greatly appreciated. I'm especially proud of all of our members, but especially proud of the moms that showed up with babies in tow. Know that I'm proud of you. Rep. LaTanya Garrett, Senator Stephanie Chang, Senator Sylvia Santana. I don't know how you all did it, because it was tough enough me leaving Bella home every day. And no, I'm not comparing my dog to your children, but I love my baby, Bella. My fellow dog mom, Rep. Leslie Love, I'm proud of your leadership and your humor, and I look forward to ongoing building of our relationship. This was an amazing year for criminal justice reform, and I applaud the leadership and the chair of Judiciary for making it happen. There's still so much to do. I am also thankful for the advocates which push from the outside to challenge us to do more with criminal justice reform. Rep. Jewel Jones, your compassion in leading on this issue of our jails and our prisons, we have not gone unnoticed. Before I close, I have to make a call to action. Our prisons are filled with low-level offenders that are being exposed to COVID daily. Prison staff is doing the best that they can, but no one should die a death sentence because they can't get hand sanitizers or vitamin supplements. Before you say they deserve to be there or they don't deserve humanity, know that Michigan does not have the death sentence. And so I'm pleading publicly with our governor to have the director of MDOC to act before another life is gone too soon. While the coronavirus has changed our lives forever, having this unique experience with each of you that will be remembered for years to come is a blessing. Stories will tell our grandchildren about what we did, great things and sometimes challenging things, but perhaps what we wish we'd done better. Know that our lives have intersected, no matter the course, for the rest of our lives. Lives we can't change the intersection points. The place where our lives have converged will forever be a part of Michigan's history. I'm thankful for this opportunity to have served. I'm thankful for the many friendships that I have built. And thank you to our Republican speaker for being a man of great dedication. Despite our huge differences at times, you still showed civility a word that you used when you first opened our session. I'm counting on you and others to continue taking our state forward in whatever capacity you lead in. Thank you again, Strong Women Lead. Thank you to our governor. Thank you, Dana Nessel. Thank you to all the Black women that stand strong, even during challenging times. Thank you to all. God bless. It's my graduation day.